Mr. Elliott.
Thank you. I attended a planning and zoning meeting last week, and one of the committee members spoke about the questions that were going to be asked here, and said for him it was very simple. What are you for and what are you against? And I thought, I kind of like that. It kind of distills it. So I chose to answer those. And I said, I'm against uncontrolled growth. I've lived in parts of the country which have that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to lose control of what we have here. I am for maintaining the quality of life we have in Lakeside. I like the residential feel. That's why we chose to live here. I am for protecting our resources, which include our water, our safety, and our funds, and using them responsibly. I am for keeping Lakeside an independent, autonomous community and not another annex of Fort Worth. And I am for hearing the concerns of the citizens, making informed decisions based on analysis of the facts. I've heard from a couple people that I may be in one camp or another, and I wanted to just mention that I'm not in anyone's camp, and I'm in everyone's camp. I want to hear from everyone. Some of my best friends have opposite political views, and we have great discussions because we listen to each other. I think that's one of my attributes. My wife and I chose to live here because of the quality of life and the small town atmosphere we love. This to me is an oasis. I've seen many, many parts of this country, and this is where we want to be. And I want to keep it that way. And I think I have the tools, I have the experience, time, and more importantly, I have the desire to help our community. If you think I can help Lakeside, I'd appreciate your vote. I also make myself available if anyone wants to email me or talk afterwards. I'd be happy to do that. I'll give you my email address. It's jimdelliott3@gmail.com, but I'll explain that because you got to get 2 L's and 2 T's in it. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the opportunity to be here, and I thank you for the citizens of paying attention. And nobody fell asleep, which is encouraging. So, thank you.
Mr. Dennis.
As a town, we need to stand united. We need to maintain our identity as a small town and look to ensure our self-sufficiency in the future. We should look to pursue a route to get our community involved and keep our home values high and our citizens happy and independent. We're a small, tight-knit group. I'd like to see it kept that way.
Council Place 2, Mr. Martin.
Well, I was thinking about a closing statement. I thought about this, and I want to share it with you. I once found myself in a funny situation a while back. I mentioned to an acquaintance of mine that I was on the council of Lakeside. And they said, "Oh, you're a public figure. You're a politician." I've never thought of myself as a public figure, and I certainly don't think of myself as a politician. Not the way I feel about them. But anyway, here I am before you today as a candidate for Place 2 in the race for council seat. I'd like to say that as a current council member, my goal has been, and if re-elected will continue to be, to serve our citizens, helping to make the decisions that will provide them with the services they expect and deserve now and in the future. I think our biggest challenges are providing water to our citizens without having to purchase it from outside sources, and generating revenue that would relieve some of the burden from our citizens and keep our property tax rate one of the lowest in the area. I think our current council works very hard and very well together in the best interest of our citizens. I think for the most part, our citizens also feel that the council is working in their best interest, and the new council must continue to working together to meet the needs of the citizens in order to ensure their trust.
Mr. Hamilton.
I was sitting here listening to everybody else's closing statements, and some of them I really like. During all of that, I had this thought flash through my head. Years ago, an actor who was really not that great of an actor named Ronald Reagan became president of the United States. And he stood up to the leader of the Kremlin and he said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall." I've heard that statement repeated this week. I've heard it repeated again on TV. And I guess that's kind of the reason that it popped into my head was because when I look at that wall that I'm looking at from where I'm at, I view that as a sign of why I'm running for town council. The town of Lakeside, not the city, the town of Lakeside was one of the most wonderful places to live in that I've ever been involved in. That's why we moved here. We presently have a budget of $1.25 million. $1.25 million. $500,000 of it's going out, and more than $500,000, to nothing but salaries. In the years of running businesses, we used to have meetings about that. We called it the tail wagging the dog. I'm going to sign a contract if I'm elected your town council members that I will not overtax you, I will not overspend you, and I won't over-ordinance you either.
Mr. Hamilton?
Thank you for your vote.
Okay. Moving to council place 3, Ms. Ware.
For 6 years, I have served this council with all my heart and soul. I've come here every council meeting. The only time I've missed it is when I was extremely sick and I had surgery, a couple of times. I want to continue to serve you. I want to continue to watch our community, not necessarily grow, but grow in the point of facilities, grow as far as our water, we're working on our water as fast as we can. We're replacing lines. We're doing it within a budget every year. I want to continue to make myself available to anybody who wants to talk about anything they want to talk about. And I think we've done a great job. If any of you out there think we haven't done a great job, I want to talk to you tonight before you leave. I want to know why and what your viewpoints are on that so we can address it and move forward. The church council, we may not all agree on everything every time, but we talk it out, we work it out, we vote it. It's a democratic process. We leave it where it's at and we move forward. And every decision that is made at this council, by myself, and the other people that I serve with, because I watch them too, it's done with a lot of forethought and a lot of, well, how would it affect this group of people, or how would it affect this, or how's it going to affect our budget? And that's what you want up here, is you want somebody that's going to represent everyone, not just one group of citizens that have formed a committee, but everybody has a voice. Everybody's got to have a voice. And I want to be here to represent that voice.
Mr. Thomas?
I believe I'll just say good night.